Hey everybody, welcome back to Selina's Corner. We're going to do that pumpkin cream cheese bundt cake that I was talking about in the quick cooker now. Okay, so let's talk about what we need. So I have the large batter bowl and the small batter bowl here. And so for the cake part, we're going to do 1.5 cups of yellow cake mix. And this little mini fluted cake pan is what it's called. I call it a bundt pan, I don't know why, but it's called a mini fluted cake pan. And it comes with a wire rack that will sit it down into the quick cooker, as well as help us lift it out when our cakes are finished. And it holds a half a box of cake mix. So if you need to know how much it holds a half a box of cake mix, which is a cup and a half. So then we'll need some ground cinnamon, some nutmeg, and I go ahead and just grate fresh nutmeg into whatever it is I'm making, because it smells and it tastes a whole lot better than the dry that you could buy. But I just like doing that. We need 2 tablespoons of oil, 1 egg, and a half a cup of solid packed pumpkin, not pumpkin pie filling, but pumpkin, solid packed pumpkin. And also, what I do is with the extra pumpkin, because, you know, a half a cup's not a whole can, is I'll freeze the leftovers so that I have it for another dessert or item that I want to cook, like maybe a pumpkin roll. I love pumpkin rolls. Everybody loves pumpkin rolls, right? So I'll put this back in the refrigerator. Okay, so then for the filling, we need 1 8-ounce package of cream cheese softened, and I always cut it in cubes, remember? And we need half a teaspoon of vanilla, and we need 1/3 cup of white granulated sugar. Then for the glaze that will go on top, we need 3/4 cup of powdered sugar, a tablespoon of milk, and 1/3 cup of chopped walnuts. You can use pecans if you want to, or you don't have to use nuts at all. I mean, just whatever. Some people can't have nuts because they're allergic, or maybe people just don't like them. Whatever. You don't have to use the nuts if you don't want to. It'll look pretty either way. So we're going to do the cake first. So, we need a big batter bowl. I'm going to set this over here for now. And bring our cake stuff over. Alright. So, it says for the cake, combine the cake mix, the cinnamon, the nutmeg. This is our prep bowls. This is the small one, this is the medium. This has the 1 cup of water we're going to need to put into the quick cooker to bake our cake. Bake our cake in the quick cooker. How cool. I'm going to set this over here. Okay, we need half a teaspoon of ground cinnamon. And a lot of times I forget that I shake the cinnamon out of this container, and it gathers up around the top. And when I open it up, it just kind of goes everywhere. I usually try to open it up over the sink, but I forgot. So I'm just going to put this back because it's right here. Remember, clean as you go, and you won't have anything to do when you're done. And then we need 1/8 of a teaspoon of ground nutmeg. So let's open this bad boy up. So I already have a piece I've been working on, but this is what nutmeg looks like whole. Smells really good too. Smells even better once you grind it or grate it. Put that there. And then I'm just going to put this over my mix here, and I'm just going to grate a little bit in it. Remember, 1/8 of a teaspoon is not very much, so it will not take much of this nutmeg at all. So I'm thinking that's probably about as much as I need because it does not take much at all. So, put this back in here. Alright, and now we need 2 tablespoons of oil, 1 egg. It barely fits in my little sauce cups here. I get these from Walmart too. Same with my little prep bowls, I got those from Walmart too. And these little ramekins, I have 6 of them, and I made shepherd's pie in them, the hamburger potato pie. We always had that at school for lunch, and that was like my favorite lunch. I don't know why this was. So, put a pumpkin in here. But I'll make like 6 of these. I cook like I do for, just like I was cooking for my family of 4. And then I'll have dinner for the whole week. All I have to do is just come home from work and microwave it, and I'm good to go. Okay, so it just says to mix it all in the classic batter bowl. All right. Crack the egg there. Mix everything up all nice. And I love these bowls because they've got this handle on it. And for me, I have small hands, so it makes it easier for me to handle these bowls because they have a handle on them. Much better than most mixing bowls that don't have a top on them. You know, you gotta hold them up against yourself, keep them from moving all over the counter. You don't have to do that when they've got a handle on them. I don't know who designed Pampered Chef stuff, but they were really fixing all the things that we've always complained about as cooks. Alright, so I'm going to mix that up. Make sure all the... Good thing about glass bowls too is that you can see through them, so you can make sure you got everything off the bottom. Honestly, that's great. Nice. Push that over there out of the way. I need this next. So then, for the cream cheese filling, it says to whisk the filling ingredients in a small bowl until well combined. So my stand that I use to hold my recipes keeps falling. I have not fixed it yet. I'm sorry. So I don't know if you can see that. But it's like, it's got cake, cream cheese, cake, and then the glaze and the nuts on the top. It is going to be so yummy. I'll take some pictures. I will remember. I promise. I'll remember this time. Okay. Now we need our cream cheese filling, and for that, we need the 8-ounce package of cream cheese softened. And remember, I put it in cubes so it's easier to work with. We need a half a teaspoon of vanilla. So I've already used it, so I'm going to rinse it off right quick. But I want to get vanilla in my filling. Not that I think it would matter much, but the recipe says I just need the vanilla. So half a teaspoon of vanilla. Alright. Not going to need that anymore, so I'm going to put that over there. Get it ready to wash. I'll put my vanilla back. There it goes. I need to refill it. Yes, I have forgotten to refill it. And then 1/3 of a cup of sugar. Alright. Over here. So we're just going to whisk this together. Just kind of get everything out of there. You can mix it all nice and neat. The more you work with it, the softer it gets, and easier it gets to work with. Sure, she says. Okay. dilemma that I'm in here. Apparently I didn't wait long enough for the cream cheese to soften up. My apologies. There are only so many hours in a day, and I promised to do this video for you. And I'm going to do the one sheet Thanksgiving dinner for two for you. I have to soak the boneless turkey breast that I'm going to use in liquid smoke because I like smoked turkey breast. So that's what I'm going to do with the turkey breast before I use it. Excuse me. Before I use it. So the liquid smoke direction says you only have to like marinate it, you know, for a few minutes or a few hours if you like, but I always do it overnight. I just have always done it that way. I just think it tastes like somebody actually spent hours and hours and hours smoking your turkey breast or your turkey or whatever meat you use. I've done ham too, but I always do turkey. And that recipe, I did that recipe for on 2 sheet pans when I first moved into this place for myself and some security guards that were going to be working and weren't going to have any lunch or dinner that day. So, and this year, well, I don't work there anymore. So this year I'm just going to do it for 2 because we can't do family gatherings this year because of the pandemic. Okay, so let's see what we got to do now. So now, it says to place the quick cooker fluted pan on the wire stand and brush with oil. And I use the nonstick spray butter flavor. I just like that better. I don't know why, I just do. And then we're going to put a half a cup of the cake batter into the fluted pan, and we're going to spread it out over the bottom. I'm sure it doesn't have to be exact, but let's just be exact anyway. That looks good to me. Alright. So it says to spread it out over the bottom of the pan. So I'll put a little here, a little there. Then I'll use my spatula here. Got all the yummy goodness. So this will be the top of the cake once we turn it out. And I have figured out that it will fit perfectly on those cake circles that I used for the cheesecake the other day. And I'm actually doing this ahead of time. I'm doing my Thanksgiving videos ahead of time for you guys because if you guys like what you see, that gives you time to, if you're still ordering your groceries delivered, it gives you time to get everything ordered in that you need. And this will freeze well. So I'll just freeze it, take it out that morning, and it'll be perfect for dinner that night. Alrighty. So now it says that you want to pour the filling on top of the batter and then top with the remaining cake mix. So you just want, alrighty. I'm going to do do the same thing with this. I'm just going to a little here, a little there, and then spread it out. And I'll post a copy of the recipe, just in case I'm going a little too fast for you right now what I'm doing. Yeah, I will always post the recipes that I do for you guys, so you can just relax and watch. If you decide you want to make the recipe that I made, there'll be a link for the recipe that I use, whether it's Pampered Chef or something else. And I actually forgot to put on my Pampered Chef apron today, so I hope I don't get my shirt dirty. So we got all that yummy goodness out of there. Put this over here, and I'll wash that while we're waiting for the cake to cook. Now we're going to spread this out, make it look all nice and pretty. This will be the center of the cake, so it'll be like little layers. It's going to look really pretty. I love the picture. The picture looks great. See, just like that. Ready? And now it says to put the remaining batter on top of the cream cheesecake layer. And once again, we're going to do the same thing, a little here, a little there. Get it all nice and even. And see how the handle makes it easy to hold. Even though if you have small hands like I do, it might be a little heavy. But I don't have any problem holding it at all. And I actually broke my middle finger on this hand, and it makes it really hard for me to do my crocheting now, especially like the little thread projects, because my finger gets like locked and closed sometimes, and it's really painful to get my hand. All right, I'll put this over here. Made a mess. We'll clean all this up after I put this in the quick cooker. Spread it out all nice and neat. Just get it everywhere. I'll shake it a little bit. Even it out some. Okay. Make it all nice and even. Now, let's see what it says. Okay, so now we have to pour the 1 cup of water. I'm going to have to rinse that off because I need that later. 1 cup of water in the quick cooker, like so. That's not dirty, so I'm not going to put it in the sink. Just plug it in. Okay. Now I'm going to lower the pan into the quick cooker. I'm just going to make sure it's in the middle. And then we're going to lock the lid. Okay. Now, once this cooks, see if I can turn this around so you can see what it looks like. So once this is done cooking, it says that we're going to do a manual release this time. So we'll press this button, press and hold this button until all the steam is released. And I'm going to keep it away from my cabinets because I don't want the steam to go up on the cabinets because I don't want to ruin the cabinets. Okay? So let's see. So now it says to press the custom setting and then adjust the time to 20 minutes. Okay, and then press start. And that's how you know that it's working. Now, once it's under pressure, just like any other Instapot or pressure cooker, this red button will pop up, and that way you'll know that this pot is under pressure and you won't put yourself in danger by opening it accidentally. Okay? So, I'm going to come back in just a little while when right before the timer comes off, and we'll do the next steps in getting the cake ready. Okay? See you in a little bit. Everybody, we're back. So we got about a minute to go on our little pumpkin bundt cake. So I was going to show you how to manually release the steam once it's ready. And remember, each Pampered Chef recipe will tell you how to release the steam for the quick cooker pot. So be sure that you follow the directions because sometimes it wants you to let it release on its own naturally, and then after a certain amount of time come manually release it. And this one says to manually release it when the timer is up. So we're going to do that. It's almost done. Alright, so the timer's up. So now it says when the timer's up, press cancel. Cancel. And then press the steam release button to manually release the pressure. And I think I pulled it far enough away from my cabinets. It's fine. And see how the little red button is up? That means it's under pressure. See how the little thing pops up? You'll always want to make sure that this is aligned with the button, square with the button, not like kitty corners. Okay. So I'm just waiting for the little red button to go down. And there it goes. So that means all the steam has been released. Alright. Now we're going to open the close. I'm going to set this over here so I can drip into my sink. And not onto my counter, but it already did. Now it says to carefully lift the pan out and remove it from the wire rack. Alright. Ooh, look how pretty that is. Wow. And it smells delicious. I'm going to dump this water out. And I already did my dishes. I was a girl, I did my dishes just like I promised I would. I'm going to unplug it. I don't leave appliances on. And I put the pot back on. So I'm going to put it back on. I'm not putting it in the right place. Alright, there we go. Now it says to remove it from the rack. And I'm going to put it on the cooling rack for 10 minutes. And I'm going to set this over here. See, we didn't need the wire rack this time. Alright, so it says to let it sit for 10 minutes, so I'm going to set a timer on my microwave. And then after it sits for 10 minutes, we're going to use the cake tester to release it from the pan. and then we'll turn it out onto the wire rack, and then we'll let it cool a little bit more, and then we'll make the icing for it to make it all look nice and pretty. So we'll come back in just a few minutes. I'm getting everything together for the Thanksgiving sheet cake. I'm going to print out the recipe, and you know, I kind of like to make use of my downtime. So in between things I'm doing here, I'm getting ready to do other things for you. So I'll be back in just a few minutes. Hey everybody, so we're back. It's been 10 minutes now the timer's going off. So I'm going to hush that up. So now it says that we need to use the cake tester and releaser to loosen the cake from the pan, and then we're going to carefully invert the cake onto the cooling rack, and then we'll let it cool. So I'm just going to go around the edges of this. Nice and slow because we don't want to mess up the cake itself. It smells really good. If you love pumpkin spice, you are going to love this little cake. And I think it's perfect, you know, for small gatherings, small families, you know, just for yourself. Because, you know, like I said, I'm going to freeze it. So I'll have dessert for Thanksgiving. And I'm going to set this over here. Carefully invert cake. Alright. Wow, look at that. Look how pretty that is. Alright. Look at that. That's going to look nice once we get the topping on it. Okay, so now it says, while the cake is cooling, prepare the glaze by combining the powdered sugar, the powdered sugar and the milk in a small bowl. And then we'll drizzle the glaze over the cake and the top with walnuts. So I'm going to let this cool. Probably, I'm going to say about 30 minutes, and then I'll come back, okay? And I'll get the cake board ready too, so you can see how that's going to look. So I'll be back. Okay, so we're back. I went ahead and I put the cake onto the cake board, and I also got out one of those plastic covers that I get from the Dollar Tree. It has the 3 different sizes. Well, this is the biggest size, and it will fit right over that. Now, I won't put this on it and then put it into the freezer to set until after the glaze has set on the cake itself. So I'm just going to put this over to the side because I'll need that later. So now we're going to do the glaze. Pull that closer in. So for the glaze, it says that we need 3/4 of a cup of powdered sugar, and then we need a tablespoon of milk, and then we'll drizzle the walnuts on top. And like I said, you can use a different kind of nut if you want to, or no nuts at all if you either don't like them or you can't have them. You can put sprinkles on it, little orange sprinkles on it, like for Thanksgiving. And I'm just going to stir this up really good with this little bitty whisk that I have. And I use that little bitty whisk for everything. And I actually think I got a little too much powdered sugar. I thought maybe I could, so I'm just going to I use UHT milk, by the way. I'm just going to put just a little bit, a little tiny dab. Because like it's shelf stable. And that's actually what I used to make my yogurt with. It's like a cheat. So I don't have to heat it up and cool it down. The little bacteria that would compete with the yogurt cultures is already been killed off by the process of the ultra high temperature processing of the milk. Alright, I think I need a little bit more. Now, this is not the recipe's fault, this is my fault. I think I added a little too much powdered sugar. I don't have a 3/4 cup. I only have wet measuring cups for that, so a little dab more. That should do it. I think I put almost a cup in there. I was like, whoops, that might be a little too much, we'll see. Alright, and it was. Alright, so that looks like it's coming together a little bit. Alright, much better. Sorry, that was my fault. So not the recipe's fault. That was totally new. Alright. Make sure all the lumps are out. We don't want a lumpy glaze going onto our cake. And I don't sift powdered sugar unless the recipe tells me to. I don't sift flour unless the recipe tells me to either. There's a reason that they want you to sift those items. So always follow the recipes exactly. Any recipe that you want to use. Right, so now we're just going to add the glaze. Look how pretty that is. I really like this recipe. I'll probably use this for the other things that I make, like my little loaf pan cakes and my angel food cake. I add sprinkles to the mix, and then I put a lemon glaze on top of it. And the recipe I keep using is just not as pretty, as nice as this, so I'll probably use this from now on for anything I put a glaze on. Look how nice that is. Alright. And even if it runs off, that's okay. I'll just clean it up. Now we just add the nuts on top to make it look nice and pretty. That was 1/3 of a cup of chopped walnuts that I'm using. Oops, I'm making enough. I think I'm getting more on my counter than I'm getting on the little cake. Alright, so look how pretty that is. My dishwasher is right there. So I always open the door so I can take things off the counter. Alrighty. So there you have it. I'll take some pictures of it, and once the glaze sets up and it gets kind of hard to the touch, I'll put this cover on it and I will put it in the freezer, and then after it's frozen, I'll box it up so that I'll have it to eat on Thanksgiving. So if you like what you saw today, click the like button, subscribe, share, leave some comments, and be nice. Always be nice. We've got to be nice to each other. And I'll see you tomorrow to do the sheet pan Thanksgiving dinner for 2. See you later. Thanks for stopping by.